It is Wednesday night again, and I still have a cold, so there might be some sniffling and coughing during the chat. And those are absolutely free. There's no extra charge for those. But tonight we've got Gizzard Gary. How you doing, Gizzard?
Well, if I could find the right button, I'd tell you I'm doing all right. Thanks for having me.
And Gun Websites. How you doing?
Fair to middling. Thanks for the link. Thanks for hosting.
Oh, no problem. And I forgot to do a poll this week, so there's no poll.
That's the lamest excuse you've ever came up with.
Oh no, I've had lamer. Today, a little bit earlier, a couple hours ago, I trimmed up my beard and got it all done, trimmed up and came back downstairs, and I was kind of feeling, making sure I didn't miss any spots. And somehow I got a hair, one of my beard hairs, stuck in my finger like a splinter.
Oh, wow.
I couldn't get a picture of it. My phone wouldn't focus in that close where you could see it. But yeah, it looked just like a splinter, but it was one of my beard hairs.
Dang, dude.
I don't know how you shave, but it sounds pretty hardcore.
Oh. Well, when I shave, I usually sit on the back porch, get most of it. That way I don't have to sweep anything up. And then I'll come inside to make, clean up anywhere I missed, and then do a little razor job to clean up the edges.
Well, you don't shave, you just trim.
Yeah. Well, I shave because I don't like having neck beard. So, I shave here and then a little bit right there. Beep, beep.
I'll do that someday. Not today, though.
But out there we had DJ Play Nice, Vulcan Rumble, and Ron Wayne. Good evening, everybody.
Bless you.
Excuse me. Rod said Foz beard hair is equivalent to steel. Awesomeness.
Wire beard.
They said it was kind of weird because I was feeling and it felt just like when you get a splinter. It's like, what the heck is that? Oh, alrighty.
You have microscopic holes in your hands.
Oh. I mean, exhort. Yeah. Excuse me. All right, we'll make it through this. I promise. Ugh. Oh, I was going to tell you, G-Webs, I finished Reacher, the second season of Reacher. And I think I like it better than the first season. There were a few things that I really didn't care for. Like the firefight with the drug dealers on the army base. It was a little bit of a stretch, in my opinion. Oh, you might have stepped away.
Maybe that's why they call it Reacher, because it's a reach to believe that it's real.
So which firefight are we talking about on the army base?
What it was a flashback to when I forget what.
Oh, when they ran around the steel containers.
No, they were in the
Yard?
the motor pool. They caught the two guys selling drugs. They had them hidden in the spare tires.
Yeah, whenever there's like a gunfight, I agree with you. That's just some trope or something like from the old westerns or something. I don't know.
The biggest problem was it happened on the base. The drug dealers came on the base and had the firefight with them.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Because that's the most convenient place to do armed drug deals.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing you didn't like. My problem was, or one of the things that was my issue is somewhere in the beginning, I read a comment that someone said the girlfriend did it. So, the whole time I'm thinking, when's his girlfriend going to be the bad guy? So it was sort of I was waiting for something like that. It was just annoying. You watching this, Gizzard, or are you going to watch it?
I've never heard of it.
Oh, you've never watched Reacher?
Mm-mm.
Based on the book. Well,
You ever seen the movies Reacher?
No.
With what's his face? Oh.
Tom Cruise.
You liked that John Wick show? The movies?
Never seen them.
Oh, well, you don't watch movies, huh?
Yeah, ask my friends, they'll tell you. Gizzard hasn't seen very many movies.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that's a point of contention with my friends. They make fun of me because I don't follow trends and I'm not up on stuff like that.
I know there was something else that I didn't like in the second season, but I don't remember. I can't think of it right now. But on the whole, I liked it. Like I said, I think I like it a little better than the first season. I'm halfway through 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea audiobook. I'll probably finish it Friday at work.
So I was over there getting coffee with the Reacher thing. I don't know. I don't like the bad guy in the first one. That dumb kid or whatever was lame. But
yeah, and then the whole fight with Reacher. Oh, that's the other thing. Sorry,
the fight with Reacher in the pool is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Getting hit with a crowbar or whatever it got hit with. Yeah, it was stupid.
The other thing kind of in the first and the second, both seasons, is, well, I guess it's two parts. One, he can seem to find, he's a huge guy. He's what, like 6'5"? I don't know how much 250, 275, all muscle. He can find clothes anywhere he goes.
Yeah,
And
they're not normal, not like you can find clothes if you buy like giant 5XLs or something, but he's buying stuff that fits that dude, which I don't even know what those clothes are. Extra large.
And then when he's in public, nobody looks at him. Somebody with his physique and his size, people will kind of stare at you.
Yeah, I can tell you that happens to me all the time. Women, my eyes are up here. Ladies.
He kind of sticks out. So when he's supposed to be incognito, he stands out. He's noticeable.
Mike Samey's the only one that hasn't seen the John Wicks.
Yeah, Ron Wayne hasn't seen them either. See, I'm not so strange.
I have, well, you don't know if he's talking about Wick or Reacher. So I don't like Wick. I've only seen them because I eventually got curious and watched them, I guess. But, and then I wanted to see, if they got any better, but I don't like them. They're too far-fetched and weird.
I liked them. The first one is the best one. The third one, for me, it's 1, 3, 4, 2. I mean, they're like the world that he exists in is
ridiculous. It's like a super. If it's a comic book, okay, fine. If it's a comic book movie, then sure.
There's lots of stuff that I don't quite understand. We've kind of talked about it before. Is everybody a criminal? Is only some people criminals? There seems to be a lot of criminals and nobody, when they're fighting in public, nobody else seems to, they just continue walking around in their normal day.
Right. It's like a superhero version or a fantastic or exaggerated version or something. But I find no interest. I don't have much interest in it.
And then there's rumors that they're going to make a fifth one. Well, he was supposed to have been killed off in the fourth one.
But it's essentially just the reason I was asking if because it's not really the same movie. They're one of them's more like fantasy and one of them's just a action movie, but they're recent and they're sort of popular. Just essentially gun action movies.
Guns.
Well,
and
I guess
Water.
Reacher isn't really a gun movie. I guess it kind of is, but he's kind of a mix between MacGyver and I don't know, maybe a spy.
Uh,
MacGyver's kind of a spy too, though, so I don't know. He's kind of like MacGyver, really. He's just
Well,
a more violent MacGyver. He's like a MacGyver that isn't afraid of picking up a gun and killing somebody once in a while.
that's the one thing that is a little confusing about the Reacher is he's an investigator, but he'll kill everybody.
Yeah. Does make a lot of sense. And I don't know why that may be because the CSI is so popular that they're like, we have to keep this part of it. Like they could drop that whole part of it and I could care less. They could just say like he was an MP and then move on, right? Like I don't need to care about. And that's the part I didn't like about this one. And I didn't like the girl in this one, not his friend, but like the girlfriend. I don't like her, and I don't want like that's just a whole other thing that they didn't need to put in there that he's sleeping with his I don't know employee or whatever you'd call it, like subordinate.
Yeah.
It just seems stupid. For
Yeah.
the first movie, he was all cool, and that girl was like working at the police station. That part was like that made sense. But anyway,
When there's
some person like you said, I like parts of the one. I hope they do a season 3. I'm not done watching it or anything.
when there's sexual tension between characters, and I'll get to where you think they should kind of hook up because they've got that chemistry, and then once they hook up, it's like, wow, fuck, that ruined it. It kind of ruins it for the rest of the however long the show goes on.
Yeah, and it was just I did think it was just unnecessary. I don't know. It just seemed I don't know.
X Adam 1, I liked the first Reacher movie. The second was just wasn't entertaining. Never saw the TV series. When
The movies the movies are different.
Yeah, when the first movie came out, my wife was kind of upset because she had read the books. And Reacher is a huge guy. I haven't read the books, but from what I understood, he's more like the TV character, like 6'5" or whatever, and lots of muscles and big. And Tom Cruise played him in the movie, So she was upset that they got a midget to play.
Yeah, and he
I
just
guess-
looked like some like little guy, like a delivery guy. Wonder if you can get the audiobooks on YouTube.
I haven't looked. X Adam 1. So it's life like in that sense, cops who are on one level above a meter maid act like detectives when they pull people over. So yeah, it's very realistic. That's one thing that has always kind of struck me as funny is depending on who the main character is, if it's a local cop, then if the FBI comes in, the FBI is intruding on their territory. If it's more about the FBI, then when they move in to a local, they push around the local cops because they're incompetent. To me, it's always been kind of funny. Depending on who the hero is supposed to be, the other agency is the incompetent agent.
I don't know. Back in the day when you're talking about I guess it depends on what era of stuff you're talking about. But like nowadays, I'm thinking of some of the stuff that's good to watch is written by people who either are super interested in it, so they researched it and paid attention and talked to subject matter experts and made it like authentic, or they lived it and it's authentic because they understand everything about it and they wrote it. So I don't know if it was like that back in the day. We would just get stuff that was like, your job is to write stuff, and now you're going to write about this, and now you're going to write about this, and now you're going to write about this. And they didn't know. They just write stuff. They might have done some research, but a lot of this stuff was formulaic or whatever. They just changed the costumes and did the same show over again almost. So we might be seeing a lot more, I don't know if it's authentic, but more stuff that's focused on the actual reality.
Exadam once playing with his Apollo 11 and Prodigy. He's taken it apart so many times he might be an internet gunsmith.
Prodigy internet is it still around? I guess it's dial up is good for some people.
Ron Wayne's just up because he had to make sure he locked the doors. Yeah, that'll drive me crazy sometimes when you, like when I get to work, get out of my car, lock the door. As soon as I hit inside, it's like, did I lock my door? I don't know if I locked my door. And I don't want to go back outside, so I'll wait. Because pretty much once I clock in, there's guys that I have to let out. So then I'll relock the car just to make sure. And then if it doesn't happen at home a lot, but when it is, it's like, did I lock the door? I don't know if I locked the door. Did I lock the door? I probably locked the door. I don't know if I locked the door. I better go check if I locked the door.
You don't have one of those you can do it with a phone app or anything like that?
I purposely do not have one that you can do it with a phone app.
Oh, okay.
I don't trust the robots. They'll just let each other in your house.
They're already in there anyway. You have a smartphone, right?
Yes, I do.
Robots don't leave fingerprints, so there's really no way you'd know if robots were tiptoeing around in your house when you weren't there.
Sharon's out there, Sharon Hinchcliffe. Good evening. Yeah, I was thinking...
my friend's got his, like a thermostat on the wall, but you can unlock and lock the doors and stuff, and that and see if the doors are unlocked. Like it'll tell you, like it'll be red. If you poke on the door thing, it'll like the doors that are unlocked are red or green.
Well, I have security cameras in my apartment, but I certainly hope nobody hacks them, because if they do, they're going to see some really weird things first thing in the morning when I get out of bed. So I hope they enjoy that sort of thing. There ain't anything exciting goes on here, that's for sure.
I've been thinking about carrying a little flask of holy water. That way I'm safe. If I encounter a robot, I can throw water on them. Or a demon or a vampire, I've got holy water to throw on them. So I'm covered.
I got myself one of these things. K18S. I'm assuming y'all already have one.
No. What is it?
K18S. This is a bug sniffer. This will sniff out any kind of wireless bugs or devices that might be in your house. It can also tell if there's GPS devices attached to your vehicle. And then this hole here, you look through there and you can see cameras. It's to help find peephole cameras.
You want to borrow mine?
Oh. Yeah, but it needs to be in a silver flask in case there's werewolves.
Oh, that's right. Dang it.
I do have. I've got this. I got from Yankee years ago. The zombie silver bullet. So it's got. There's silver plated 357 Magnum, and it's a wooden stake.
That's cool.
It was made by Kunin.
Obviously, you've never used it.
Nope. Luckily, I've never had to use it yet. Well, I'm ready. Mike McLuhan said his is leaving for work in the afternoon and thinking I left the burner on the range or left the oven on. Turn around and drive back to check.
I did that for a coffee pot one time. Got all the way to work. Realized I left my coffee pot on. This 30-minute drive home.
Oh, Guns and Water saying someone wiped all the pics off his hard drive, plugged into his router, and left a README saying secure your server.
Oh, wow. So he must not have had a password on his router or had it set to the admin.
Oh, yeah. If you. That's the first thing I do once I set up my router is change the passwords. And then there's like two passwords to your one when you go into your settings, deep in your settings, and then the other one is just when you're going to hook up to your router. Ron Wayne said ghosts. I don't have anything for ghosts other than the belief they don't exist.
He's not allowed to be up this late.
Sharon said, work in IT, we don't have any tech except what's needed for work in the house. And Guns and Water said he's guessing the neighbor packet sniffed him. I think they came out pretty good. Happy with them.
Speaking of packet sniffing, look at that.
And every patch is hand rubbed by me. Because I didn't like you could see where they had been touching the bag. So it left kind of a squiggle. And I didn't like the squiggle. So I rubbed them all with a paper towel to kind of smooth out that squiggle.
You took everyone out of the bags?
Yep. Well,
Oh.
I also took everyone out of the bag to let them air out a little bit. Because I didn't like the smell either.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, pretty nice though. Thank you. Are all of these stickers in public already?
Yeah. Pretty sure I've shown them all. Yeah, that's the ones I bug Gary with when I tag him on Instagram. Look at my sticker. Look at my sticker. Sergeant Joe Smith is out there asking, is the bracket tonight? No, there's no bracket tonight. I did get the part that I ordered to fix the control panel, except mine is a 6 volt and they sent me one for a 12 volt. So I have to reorder that part.
Just attach one wire and we're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
And Larry Knopf is out there.
I don't remember this one.
Yes, I did that when I did the Never Trust a Robot. I did those two at the same time. Which I don't have one here in the little pile of stickers I've got here.
It's fine because I have one right here.
Ah. Yeah, there's your fart noise.
Some of the noise comes out of this end. Some of the noise comes out of that end. So he woke up and then had to eat and pay attention to what I was doing and the other dog, and then take a nap and then eat again. And then he did run around playing with the giant stuffed avocado for a little while. That might have worn him out. And that's outside, I think, still. And then now he's exhausted. He's had a long day. Have you ever given George a big giant stuffed animal?
No, I can't say that I have.
He doesn't know what to do with it. He likes to rub his face in like a blanket and things. Sometimes if you're just sitting there, he'll rub his face on you. So once he had this giant avocado, fuzzy avocado to play with, he was biting and stuff around. Then he just started smashing his face into it, like pushing it around, smashing his face into it. He had a pretty good time.
George gets excited when I get big Amazon boxes because he knows he's going to get to play in it for a while.
I got, when we had our cat, I got him a snake. It was like 3-4 foot long, kind of like a boa constrictor, and I think it was coiled up, but the cat would just hump it. So we ended up taking it away from him.
Now I got this shelf. Actually, this shelf you see back behind me that's put together, I was putting it together today, and it was wrapped up in this clear plastic. And I had torn it loose from the bundle and had it on the living room floor. And I had put this together and was hauling it in here, and I heard a noise, and I went in, and George basically was attacking the plastic. And then he ended up deciding, well, he was going to lay on it and claim it to be his, which is his thing, you know. If he finds something laying around the house, that's mine now. I'm going to lay
Well, for
on
one thing, you shouldn't have left it laying around and then left it unclaimed. If you wanted.
I just waited till he got off of it. I wasn't going to fight him for it.
Yeah, see, if you wanted to keep it, you should have peed on it. That would let him know it's yours.
Mm-hmm. It's in trash now. Yes, he did, Ron.
So X Adam 1 sent in a couple pictures and asked which one would you choose. There's a bunch in these pictures. There's photo 1's lineup.
What if someone sent in 16 to 32 pictures and asked us which ones to choose? And then that would become a bracket, wouldn't it?
It'd almost be a bracket at that point. Which one would we choose? Let's see, a SIG, a
Springfield.
Springfield.
Your SIG. It'll lift free armory. Then another SIG. And then we'll look at the second one here. Or is it? Oh, I think it's the same one. It's just another view.
Different vantage point. Yeah.
The one on the bottom's of the SIG 365.
Looks like it.
And that's the way their grips are normally.
NDZ slide on it.
That's not a SIG. Not a 365. That's for sure.
Well, I know he's had different grip frames.
Unless you got a different grip frame on it. Yeah.
So I think that's
just a modular.
It could be an aftermarket grip frame.
And slide.
Well, slide definitely is, yeah.
But I think out of these, I kind of like the lift free armory one, look wise.
365 XL with the Icarus grip module. Okay. I'd probably shoot that.
I do like the 365. I have never fired the one, an Icarus frame one, but the stock one, I rented at the range and I really liked it.
Because of the trigger or because of the size or what?
Kind of the size, and it shot well for me. It's striker fired, so I wouldn't carry it because I don't carry striker fired. Personally, I like a hammer.
Yeah, I've carried a 365 for almost 3 years now. So.
Yeah, I think I would go the lift free armory.
Oh, just because I've never shot that particular one, yeah, I'd probably do that too. But I'd shoot any of them.
You have one, don't you?
A lift free armory. I have the amp. Yeah.
Yeah. Ron Wayne said he likes them all.
Yeah, there isn't any of them where somebody said you can only shoot this one that I'd say no. It's like, let's go.
Yeah, I mean, if somebody said, "Here, you want one of these," I wouldn't turn any of them down. Oh, I was mentioning earlier that halfway through 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in audiobook form, and it's pretty good for being written in the 1800s.
So that means if you're halfway through, you're only 10,000 leagues under the sea, or
Pretty much, I think in the book they had just crossed like 9,000 lakes. He keeps track because that's distance, that's not depth. In the book, he'll talk about fathoms, how deep they are, and then he kind of marks off because they're just traveling around. So he mentions a couple times how many leagues they traveled since they've been on board. I've seen the movie, the one with Kirk Douglas. It's been a long time. I was thinking about going back and rewatching it. But the book the journey is a lot longer. But it's kind of interesting, the stuff they talk about, that he envisioned, that you can see the technology that has happened already, happened after, many years after the book was written. But I would recommend it.
I think I've listened to the book on tape because I was curious, but I've only seen the movies. I think I might have read it as a little kid, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
It's not the movie, though, right? Like, they do other stuff in it, or more than the movie?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but I don't remember them covering as much stuff as they have even, halfway through the book.
Do you know what Captain Nemo means?
No.
In Latin?
No.
Gizzard?
nope.
It means no one. It reflects his mysterious and enigmatic nature.
Oh wow.
Did you know that it was originally published in a serialized form in a magazine in 1869 from March of 1869 to June of 1870 before it was released as a book?
I did not know. I'm not surprised. But
This could be fake. I asked a robot, so they're confidently wrong a lot. So,
I've got access for my genealogy stuff. I've got a subscription to newspapers.com, and you can look up old copies of newspapers from like 100 years ago and stuff. And yeah, back in the 1800s, it wasn't uncommon at all for papers to run, like fiction stories and stuff like that, like excerpts of stuff like that. So you don't see that today, but I guess that was your only entertainment, so you had fact and fiction in there.
Well, that's what Sherlock Holmes.
Being on a train or something, it'd be awesome to have a bunch of newspapers or something.
Mm-hmm.
The Sherlock Holmes was basically published in the papers, his stories.
It was like an adult comic.
Oh, well, I've been on this. Well, not in Disney World. I was on a sub in Disneyland, though. That was kind of cool.
We went on it, but my son freaked out. So he was probably 5-ish, somewhere around there. And the rides are loud. That was part of the problem. It's how loud it was, because that, and then the Alice in Wonderland ride was unbelievably loud. We freaked on that too.
Some of the rides were pretty cool. Space Mountain was cool. Splash Mountain was cool too.
I didn't ride any of the rides.
For an indoor roller coaster, I'd never been on an indoor roller coaster before. But it's pretty cool because they have all the lights turned off and they project different things on the wall. You really can't tell you're in a building.
It's the first day was just a disaster. My son and I we'd kind of butt heads, and we'd both be stubborn, and then my wife would kind of suffer. So, and I read a couple articles about how that happens a lot, where families end up fighting at Disneyland. But the second day, I decided, and this is kind of how we do vacations now, is there's no real hard set schedule. Just kind of let things happen that happen. And that way there's no stress about, we need to be here at this certain time or anything like that.
Yeah, I didn't actually think I would like Disneyland. It's something my wife wanted to do, and I just kind of went along. But I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. Let's put it that way. I was way too old for it to be magical for me, but
Yeah.
it was still reasonably fun. I mean,
Was it always expensive, or did it used to be reasonable?
oh, this was back in the mid-90s.
They say now that it costs you like $5,000 to $10,000 to go to Disneyland or some shit.
Wasn't anywhere near. Wasn't even $100 to get in there.
No, I mean not to get in. I mean, but like a trip will take you. It's like a massive investment to go to Disneyland.
Oh, this was just a stop on a 3 or 4 day trip in the LA area. So we just happened to go there one day because we were staying in Anaheim, so we could literally walk there. We took one day, I remember, and drove down to San Diego because that was my pick. I wanted to see the San Diego Zoo, so we drove down and saw the San Diego Zoo, which is a very cool zoo, by the way. See it if you get a chance.
We went there once, and I've been to Tokyo Disneyland a couple times. From the Anaheim Disneyland, I've got my picture with Goofy and my picture with Minnie Mouse, where standing there with Minnie Mouse, and I put my arm around her shoulder, and then she grabs my arms and puts them on her hips. So it's, I don't know. Minnie Mouse was trying to seduce me.
Sounds like it.
I read reading a thing from last year, and it says it costs $282 per person over 10, and $273 for the 8-year-old. That's the entrance fee to get into Disneyland. $1,100, almost $1,200 for 4 people to walk in the gate.
I don't know if I even saw. Usually, I let my wife take care of the vacation stuff, so I don't know how much we spent.
Their hotel was $1,300. I guess that'll always depend, but $200 for the driving around. Here comes the food. How much do you think the food was? This is from 2023 for 4 people.
I don't know.
Total for the groceries was $91. Total for meals and snacks for the whole trip was only $600. I would thought it would have been more than that. Yeah, Yikes. Then you got to pay $300 for the passes to get on the rides. So that's $300 to get in. And then you got to pay for the rides. It's another $300. But that was for everybody, I guess. So what it really costs to go to Disney World, that they added up, trip came to $3,600 for 4 persons, $900 a person, $300 a day.
We did get to do the line ride, which simulates standing in line. It was supposed to be the Toy Story. And we got in line. I forget how long. We were like 20 minutes in line. Go in the building, kind of weave around a little bit, and then go out a door, which is outside. And they said, sorry, the ride's closed.
Wow.
20-minute line ride.
Something just beeped. Or is that you or is that me?
That's not me.
What do I have that's beeping?
Guns and Water. When Disney World opened, it cost the same amount of money as going to New Jersey Shore. When Disneyland opened, their opening day, there were as many counterfeit tickets as there were real tickets. Mike McLuhan, Mom said I'm deprived because I'd never been to Disneyland. And I said, I don't feel bad. I know it was expensive even back when I was a kid. He's 47 now.
I went to the California one, and I could care less about going to the other one, but then they took me to the other one anyway. So I've technically been to both of them, but I didn't have any much interest in them.
I don't have any great desire to go to Florida. So
I've been to Universal Studios, Florida, and California both, but
The thing that was, we must have got a car. We went to Florida for a while. Oh wait, we were there for a while. I think we stayed there for a while for some reason. And the best thing in Florida was hammerhead shark fishing. Real life, going out in the fish, not like some Disney ride, but like going out in the ocean, fishing for hammerhead sharks. It's awesome. You throw a bunch of dead stuff in the water and you wait for sharks to come up and eat it.
X out of blood. We never took trips. That was rich white people stuff, according to everyone in my childhood. We'd drive to the coast and enjoy the day at the beach. If we were lucky, we'd get sandwiches. That's kind of the way it was when I was growing up. We didn't go to Disneyland or Seven Flags or anything. It was
well, my sisters, by the time I was 7 years old, both my sisters lived out of state, so our vacations were spent visiting them. Now, the first couple of years they lived out on the East Coast, which is kind of cool because I got to see Washington, D.C. and New York City and places like that. Then they moved down to Texas, and the coolest thing I ever saw down there is probably like the Alamo or, stuff like that. So,
yeah, during the summer we'd go to the beach, which it's not like Hawaii beaches. There's sand, but it's kind of cold all the time. And go out to Ocean Shores or Long Beach, or go the other direction because that's the west, or go east and go to Idaho to visit family.
Hey,
not
let's
a
go on
lot
the
of
potato
beaches.
ride. Let's go on the potato ride. Kids,
Well, my
quit playing
uncle-
on that mountain of potatoes. We're eating those later.
My uncle had, I don't know how much property he had, but he had a few head of cattle. We go out, stay with him. And, it was nice to see him and my aunt.
I've been to Florida a bunch of times, but only been to the Disneyland and the Disney World the one time each. Like I say, I had no interest. I think my grandparents wanted to see it. But there was other things. There was Alligator Land or something. There was a thing where girls would swim underwater like mermaids. And I think you ate dinner while they're doing it or something. Like you were there for a while and they were doing some show or something. Then there was the horrible fish shows where they keep all the giant mammals in the fish tanks.
Mike McLuhan, we did a lot of trips, Virginia, Maryland, DC. Got to see a lot of military monuments and museums.
I definitely done that.
And he said Gettysburg is somewhere he recommends going to.
There's this one Civil War battlefield where they were a stalemate for a while and they got sick of it. So the one guy, I think the deal was the people that were fighting, you know how they were just all doing the regular jobs and then the Civil War happened, they all started being the Civil War. So their regular job before the Civil War was digging I guess coal mining or something, some kind of mine. So they were all like, hey, we're bored. They just started digging a hole or digging a mine. They dug a mine underneath the line, the battle front or whatever, that was at a Stagmire or whatever, and then dug the hole all the way to the other side. Have you heard about this? Filled it with dynamite and blew the shit out of them, and the crater's still there. The crater's still there from the Civil War. Like they blew the shit out of the other side because they sat around long enough for somebody to dig a hole all the way to the other side. I think it was the South did it to the North. I can't remember because I think it was East-West technically.
And Vulcan Rumble, I'm kind of I think I'm over the hump, so I'm getting better. It's just still got the stuffy nose and a little bit of sore throat, but yeah, when I was a kid, we did go to Samoa a couple times, but and Hawaii, but that's to visit family. Vulcan Rumble saying he wants to go to the Florida Gun Show, any of them. I still want to go to the Wanamaker.
Definitely got to go there. I definitely want to go to a Florida one I've never been, and then the Virginia. Wait, yeah, is it Virginia? There's a giant one out about the end there. The biggest bottle of pocket lint is next to the world's busiest laundromat.
Probably.
The world's largest teapot is just 20 minutes from Mike McLuhan.
There must be a book or a website or something of all the biggest. Because I know driving around, cause that's what we did too most of the time, is drive places and for vacation or whatever. It's just, I have no idea what they came up with, but we would just go to places. And, I've seen all kinds of giant this or giant that. Not that we stopped at them, but, see signs for them.
Most states nowadays, they just got, a tourism website you can go to, and they'll have weird oddities like that you can go see. I know we do.
But I mean, I wonder if there must be somebody that just tours the world's biggest things, Like there's I know I've seen a biggest thing of tinfoil somewhere, I think. But back in the Route 66 days, when everybody vacationed that way, like that was their whole magnet.
I know there was a book series, it's kind of coffee table bookish, that would show interesting things in each state. Because I had one for Washington, and then I think, I bought it as a gift for my friend in Nebraska, and I think I gave him the Nebraska one too.
There we go. The ultimate roadside attraction map from Tidal Max.
I have seen the world's biggest Superman statue. It's in Metropolis, Illinois.
I was gonna say it's probably in some place called like Metropolis or something.
It is.
I saw a short video on it before.
Yeah, I've been there. They actually have a newspaper office, and it's called, believe it or not, the Daily Planet.
Oh, I was going to mention in the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, the God, I can't remember the name of the character, but the character that ends up on the Nautilus,
Byron.
but he mentions he just got back from a disagreeable visit to Nebraska, the Nebraska territories.
See if I've been to any of these places.
I don't know if it was as good as I thought. It looked like, oh, here's a complete map and stuff, but maybe this is all there is. The Fremont Troll, you know about
Yeah, I
that?
haven't been to see the troll, but I know it exists.
Was it made of
There's
concrete?
actually 2 trolls now.
Made out
I
of
forget where the
concrete?
other one is.
Is that like a tree or is it made out of concrete?
No, it's under an overpass. It's
Like mud or something then?
I think so.
Oh, okay. The Little Alien, so that's outside
Pahrump?
of. No, I think it's outside route, or what's it called? Area 51. I mean, it's north of Pahrump. The Oregon Vortex, Gold Hill, Oregon. I don't know what that is. Official Center of the World, Felicity, California.
I just saw part of a video talking about that. I didn't watch the whole video.
The thing is just outside of Tucson. It's like halfway between here and Tombstone, Arizona. And it's, I don't know, I could spoil it, but it's a
Driven by the Cadillac Ranch. Yeah.
Oh, the Cadillac. Well, is that going to be on here?
Yeah, it's right there.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Oh, it is in Texas, technically. I was going to say I thought it was Oklahoma, but it's in Armadillo. The Giants of Hatch, New Mexico. Oh, okay. So that's weird.
Larry says he's been to the Oregon Vortex.
I wonder what that is. Bishop's Castle in Rye, Colorado.
Now that Totem Pole Park in Oklahoma, I've been there.
Wait. Oh, where is that?
You just scroll down there.
I can't. It's hard to get it over. I mean, where is it in Oklahoma?
Not too far from where Snob lives, in
Okay.
Foyle, up in northeast Oklahoma.
Of all the things to do in Texas, they go with the Cadillac Ranch. It's not even all that big. And there's, I guess this isn't necessarily the biggest things or only big things. Looks like there's a Carhenge in Nebraska.
That looks pretty cool, actually.
Steer, Montana, and Salem, Sioux. So in North Dakota, there's a church or a building or something made out of corn cobs, and they didn't put that one in there.
The Corn Palace?
Yeah, isn't that North Dakota or is that South Dakota? It's one of the.
I thought it was Nebraska.
Oh no, it's one of the Dakotas because I've seen it on the way to Sturgis. And then Cowboy Town, Buffalo Ridge, South Dakota. I don't know what that's all about. House on the Rock in Wisconsin. That's a house that's just built. Wait, I don't remember what that is.
Mitchell Corn Palace is South Dakota.
Is that south?
I swear there's one of those kind of palaces in Nebraska that my buddy was telling me about.
Oh, there's probably more than one. Then American Sign Museum in Ohio, world's largest. I can't tell what that says. Something. World's largest ball of paint. What does Illinois have? Dungeons and Dragons Park. Are you serious? This is a horrible one. I apologize for everybody for wasting their time. This seems like garbage to me now. Mammy's Cupboard, Bama Henge. It's like 3 different Stonehenges in it.
Goofy golf.
Yeah, like a golf. It's one of the things.
I would go see the Coral Castle in Florida. I'd go goofy golf.
Is that where the guy made all the rocks himself or something? Moved all the
Yeah.
rocks? Just one guy? Yeah, see, I'd much rather see something actual like that. Plus, like that, there was a green giant or something in there, but you know that Paul Bunyan or whatever he is. I seen something about that the other day on Instagram, where I think it was on Instagram, maybe it's on YouTube. But you know, there's 3, I think, poses that somebody made those giant fiberglass bodies in, and they were, I forget this originally. One of them was holding a wrench or something, and one of them was holding a sandwich or something, and one of them was holding a muffler. And then those got resold to people that, you know, put like something else in their hands and turn them into different things. So that's what I thought. Maybe there's a map or something that shows, you know, all those different attractions that had existed throughout the years.
Cowgirl Candace is out there. Good evening. Been a while.
Pistachios sound good.
I don't think I've ever had a pistachio.
Really? They're good.
What? How can you never have eaten? What, you don't like nuts? Are you allergic to nuts?
No, I'm fine with nuts.
What?
I was gonna say I like nuts, but I
So how can you? Well, you don't like to experiment with eating different kind of nuts?
Yeah, they're
Well, I like-
delicious.
They're in mixed nuts half the time.
like filberts. I like walnuts.
Filberts, the big ass giant ones.
The
I don't know what filbert is. I guess
it's God. What the hell is the?
You're thinking of Brazil nuts. I
I'm
think.
thinking of Brazil nuts.
Yeah, I don't like Brazil nuts or.
I don't
cashew
either.
nuts.
I don't like them, but you're supposed to eat Brazil nuts. They're good for you, so I eat them. But I don't like them.
Yeah, I can't think of the other name for filberts.
But anyway, pistachios are super expensive, but I try to get them just because they're good.
Hazelnuts. Filberts are hazelnuts. I like hazelnuts. I
Hazelnuts are like macadamia nuts, aren't they? Just all oil.
I didn't
No.
like macadamia nuts until somebody actually went to Hawaii and brought me back some from there
They're way
that were
fresh.
actually good. And then I
We
ate
went-
those. It's like, oh, that's what they're supposed to taste like.
last time we were in Hawaii, we went to a farm, and they gave you a rock, and they had a stump, and you just picked up nuts. If you wanted to eat a nut, put it on the stump and hit it, break it open. They had a
Yeah.
bunch laying around on the ground.
Fresh ones are good.
You just eat them without being cooked. You mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they had to be I thought all nuts have to be roasted before you can eat them.
Well, I was surprised you could. I
Or
had
maybe
watched a
it tastes
story
different.
years ago about macadamia nuts where they were supposed to be really hard. They couldn't open. They couldn't design a machine to open them because they were so hard to open.
Oh, I
But-
think I seen that too. And they're round or something, right? So they're really hard to open.
Yeah. But then I was surprised that we could beat them with a rock and open them.
I thought the thing was that they were the shape or something. It was like trying to cut ball bearings. Like they were just a pain in the ass to cut.
I could be. I don't remember the whole story that I saw.
But the thing is, what was hard for people back in the day isn't hard once, you know, you get enough computers and
Yeah.
machines beating on it over the years.
But that's pretty much the only. Like I don't like white chocolate, but white chocolate and then macadamia cookies are okay because the combination makes it okay. But I love the dark chocolate with hazelnuts. To me, that's really good.
No, dark chocolate with anything is good.
Yeah, I watched the thing on Hershey's story about Hershey's, and they were talking about how Europeans don't like Hershey chocolate because it has a sour milk flavor. And after I watched that, I could taste that sour milk note. Can't stand straight Hershey chocolate anymore because I taste that little bit of sourness to it. If there's something in it, if there's nuts in it or something like that, seems to be okay. Or like the Rice Krispies, but just straight Hershey's chocolate is not good. Milk chocolate.
How can you compare cashews to calamari?
I missed that.
X Adam 1. I love cashews.
Calamari's okay, like fried.
If it's not overcooked.
When I worked as a prep cook, I used to have to prep them, take the bone out, which it's not a bone. It looks like a piece of clear plastic that's in the center of them that you have to take out. But I used to have to do that.
Thought we made our chocolate the way it is because of now I'm eating pistachios because you're all talking about pistachios. I thought we made our chocolate the way it is so that it would be shelf stable and not have to be some kind of a goofy thing you had to only buy at a confectionery store. I thought that was the story. Like
That's
when Hershey figured it out to make it not necessarily, but you know what I mean. Like a candy bar, you can ship it. You can get
Yeah, and then Hershey Park was not a good place. Basically, he ran the lives of all the employees that live there, the women that live there. You know, you had to live a certain way that he said you had to live in order to work there.
If I had a town, I'd be like that. There'd be no 9mm in my town. You can't live like that.
Vulcan Rumbles, Hershey candy bars are the preferred chocolate in Berlin ever since the Berlin airlift. That was kind of a neat story that I saw about the pilots when they were bringing in supplies to Berlin. They would tie handkerchiefs to chocolate bars and then drop them out the window like little parachutes to parachute them out to the kids. Mike McLuhan said calamari is 220 rule. Either you cook it less than 2 minutes or over 20 minutes. Otherwise, calamari is like eating rubber bands.
Yeah, I can't stand it that way. But I like calamari if it's cooked right.
When I had my wedding in Japan, I took my niece with us, my mom and my niece, and I forget, she's maybe like 12 or something like that. And the breakfast buffet that's where I had the raw bacon. So I got her to eat the raw bacon, but I told her it was boiled. That's why it was soft. And then they had calamari, which was raw, and I told her it was boiled bacon so that she would eat it. And she's like, why do they boil everything? I never told her it was squid. And Candace said the same chemical that gives bile its distinct taste, the American chocolate.
You guys have to eat some. What's a English chocolate bar then? I must have Cadbury's. Or no, they say they make their brands even different here because otherwise we wouldn't eat them. They probably taste like dark chocolate or something.
I don't know, because like the Mars bar is different in England than it is here.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the Hershey bar and stuff, they'll make theirs taste like the way they like to eat it, not like us. And then they have to buy it from a different store if they want it like us. But heck, if you get a Kit Kat in Japan, it's gonna have like chicken and shit in it. Or I mean, you can get them that way.
Probably get one with cat in it.
Ouch.
It was kind of interesting looking at the menu for like pizzas and all the stuff they put on the pizzas, mayonnaise and broccoli and squid. There's a used to be, or can't think of the name for some reason.
Japanese people like to make fun of our pizza all the time because their pizza's so weird. Like our pizzas, make no sense to them. Like, there's not even fish on this. What the hell? And what's all this cheese? Like, they don't put cheese on it so much, huh?
Fuji-Q Highland. It's an amusement park, but they have squid on a stick, which I didn't try it, but
Is that the squished one?
I don't know. I didn't see it up close. I just saw the sign on the side of the building said squid on a stick.
For a while there, I was into watching. Maybe they weren't really shorts because they'd be long sometimes, but I was into watching all the street food being made. That was like a trend for a while, or at least got in my feed for a while. So there's this one where they squish it in kind of like a waffle iron, and it's a squid, but it comes out looking like a giant potato chip or something on a stick. And then they were eating it like a crunchy potato chip looking thing, but it was a squid.
Yeah, the Fuji-Q Highland at one time had the highest coaster, 79 meters, something like that, 80 meters. And I think it was the fastest too at the time when it was built. I don't remember if it was or not. But now there's a few that are a lot taller now. Oh no, the fastest was the Dodonpa. That's right. It's one of it uses the pneumatic launching system. And it's like 0 to 100 in 3 seconds.
Jeez.
And you launch and you can't breathe because of the G-force. And it lasts just long enough where you think you're never going to breathe again. And then I think you hit a turn and it slows you down enough because it's like goes out, turns, goes up 90, down 90. And I think they've changed it where it might be a little longer now, but it, had a 90-degree up and then down, and then you go around. It was a really short ride, but
I'd be all right because I'm accustomed to that from driving in my van with its massive acceleration.
And then when you're standing in line, you have to go up. So it's like an hour in line, but we start out, there's it goes duh, dum, ba, duh, dum, ba. And then the closer you get in line, the faster that is. So it's, you get a little closer, it's duh, dum, ba. And then when you're waiting to get on, it's like duh, dum, ba, duh, dum, ba. But it was worth it. Yeah, and I like the rides that are fast and smooth. I don't like the ones that kick you left and right real hard. That's what X Adam 1 is saying. That doesn't even sound fun. Some of the rides are so fast and violent, they aren't even amusing anymore.
What about the kinds where you get up and they spin you around and they take you up in the air and spin you and like you're on a swing or sometimes you're in a little basket, but you're going up and then it'll spin you. So it's like a Ferris wheel, but faster, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really ride those. I mean, I don't really ride any rides anymore, but
they had something like that. I remember liking that one. Mainly because you could hang out and chat and still do stuff while you were doing it instead of just looking forward in a roller coaster and get your neck broken.
When I was a kid, I'd fight the carnies for the change that would fall out of people's pockets at the bottom of the ride.
Because you had to carry money for the arcades and stuff.
X Adam said milk chocolate is the best chocolate. Dark chocolate is for tryhards, and white chocolate is for serial killers. I disagree. Dark chocolate is where it's at. Once I went dark, I didn't go back.
Yeah, milk chocolate is like eating candy, which is fine. You know, it's like chocolate flavored candy. But dark chocolate, first you got to try more than one dark chocolate if you care at all, because some of it is melt in your mouth like really, really good. Just the flavor of chocolate, and it's not sweet, but it's like coffee. It's like a flavor that isn't sweet, but it's a flavor, and it's not just rancid or whatever. Some of them are kind of bad, but some of them are for baking, and some of them are to counteract, like in cookies or whatever. Like those things are supposed to be like that because the cookie's so sweet. So if you just eat something like Baker's chocolate, it's pretty bad. But if you get like a good dark chocolate and then have that with something, right? Like coffee or something, that's where it's about. At least I think so. Or sometimes just having it and then sucking on it like a peppermint or something. And it just like some of those are, I guess they're mint sometimes, but sometimes they're just dark chocolate pieces, kind of like a Hershey's Kiss, I guess, where you just kind of, you don't necessarily chew it, but you just have that chocolate flavor. It's like having a hot chocolate, but without having to drink a whole hot chocolate.
I remember when I was a little kid, my aunt was making Christmas candies, and she had this bar of baking chocolate on the counter. And I begged her for a piece of that. She said, "You wouldn't like that." I said, "Yeah, I would." So she finally broke me off a little piece and handed it to me. It's the most disgusting thing.
Everybody's got to learn that lesson, right? Like, no, you
There's
don't
no
have to.
sugar
Like,
in
yeah, I
it, man.
do. It's a
It's
giant
awful.
candy bar. Of course I
That's
want.
I did that. And my mom said, I asked my mom, "Can I have a piece of that?" She's like, "You're not going to like it." Like, "Oh, no, it'll be fine."
Moms do that intentionally. Like they can confidently set that giant chunk of
Yeah,
chocolate down. Oh no, these are going to be good in brownies, but you don't want them now. Like, yeah, I do.
I guess
Well,
everybody's got to have that experience in their lifetime sometime.
Well, one year for my birthday, my mom made these little sponge cakes. Made a bunch of little sponge cakes. And what she did was actually she frosted a bunch of sponges.
Oh,
It was
man.
a prank. Have a good night, Larry.
Nowadays, you could sue your mom. You could probably sue your mom now. If you want.
Guns and Water said white chocolate is the best. Now put the lotion on. It puts the lotion on its skin, or it gets the white chocolate again. X Adam 1 has a gun question. What makes a Benelli M4 4 times better than a Mossberg 590 to justify the price? I don't know. I'm not a shotgun guy. Do either of you have an answer?
I don't have a Benelli. I got a friend that has one. I don't.
We know how G Webs loves shotguns.
Yeah, I don't pay attention.
It's kind of like asking if if a Rolls Royce is worth 10 times as much as an American car. It's like, I don't know. I think they're ugly personally.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can make something really, really nice and put really expensive materials in it and make very few of them. And that doesn't make me want it, it doesn't make it, it might make it better in some respects to some people's standards, but doesn't make it more desirable. Is that the way I say it? Is that like painful, or is it just annoying that you're coughing all the time?
It's annoying and it gives me a headache, but um,
It's
it's
not
like
like your lungs are on fire or you're like coughing up pain every time or anything.
no, not anymore. It was where was Sunday where my ribs and stomach muscles were getting sore from coughing, and it would give me a headache from.
Oh, I've had that before. Not the headache, but the where you get your ribs are just so sore from hacking.
Yeah.
I remember one time I had a bad cold, and I can remember I had to stretch. So I was stretching and yawning at the same time. About that time, a sneeze came up on me, and I sneezed, and man, I pulled some muscle in my side, my rib cage, and that hurt for like weeks afterward.
Say that's like a pop a lung. Holy crap!
Oh
I've
man,
done
that
that
hurt.
accidentally before. Like you do something and I'm gonna reach over and grab that pencil, and then you sneeze while you're bending over, and it's like, holy crap! No wonder I've never done that before.
Mhm. It's like, okay, that was a bad plan. Real bad plan.
It's kind of like when you reach over to grab something and it's a little too far away, a little too bad of an angle, and you pull a muscle.
Or you fall out of your office chair. I did that one time. I was reaching down to the ground. I didn't get out of the chair. I was just reaching over to the side because I dropped something. I leaned, I leaned. Next thing you know, the chair turned over. I was on the floor. I was there. I had another coworker. We was working by ourselves that night. I fell off and I kind of looked up at him. He was laughing. He says, "Are you all right?" I said, "Yeah, I guess so."
When I worked at the shipyard, there was one of the union reps that he did that. Dropped his pencil, leaned over to get it, fell out, broke his arm. But
Mm.
he was like 300 plus pounds.
Well, we'd have the kids all the time that would sit in the straight back chairs and they'd lean them back.
No.
Lean them back. And I told one of them, it's an intern. I said, don't do that. He said, why? I said, well, it's a safety violation. If anybody sees you doing that, you'll get in trouble. I said, that could fall over. He goes, yeah, I'll be fine. About 5 minutes later, the legs went out front of that chair. He fell down. I said, see, that's why you don't do that.
Yeah, we've got one of our dining room chairs that the top of it's broken because my son would do that. He'd lean back. It's like, don't lean back. And he kept leaning back and then bam, down he went.
I used to have this lazy boy recliner back in the old house. It was famous. If you leaned too far back, then if you put your hands back for some reason, that would be enough to tip it over. Especially if you had the leg.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the whole thing would just go over backwards.
for sure.
Damn
And then
it.
you would stick them against the wall just so that it wouldn't. It would.
Oh,
You
I
could
had
walk
it in the middle of
behind
the
there to
room, so it
vacuum.
went over backwards.
Oh, okay. Well,
I had to roll out of it.
that's what the strategy always was by us. We'd put it so that you could vacuum behind it or whatever, but then like it would hit the wall if you did all that because my grandparents would do that all the time. You go stretch while you got it all reclined, and then whoa.
Yep.
Mr. Bob Dabalinas said, I did a bit of checking on why the Benelli is so expensive. Benelli surface treatment, a proprietary coating that protects steel with a tough, impenetrable armor that stops rust and corrosion, applied using nanotechnology and diamond-like carbon particles. BEST outperforms every other available coating and surface treatment in the firearms market today. I think part of it too is just because of the gas system, it's more complex. Um, I don't know. I don't know if there's different kinds of 590s, but isn't the 590 a pump shotgun? The pump is going to be
Thought it
simpler.
was. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably a lot of the cost there too. And it's not named Benelli.
Well, that's true. Just the nameplate alone is worth quite a few $100s.
Yeah, but again, I'm not a shotgun guy. I've only shot 2 shotguns. One is the one that I own. That was the very first one I shot, the Security 88. And the second one was Travis P11's at Thunder on the Prairie, which was also a Security 88. It's basically the same model I have, just a different color.
Oh, I have to get you some different shotguns to shoot. I own a couple.
Oh, X Adam said he meant the 940 versus the M4.
Okay. I've never owned a semi-automatic shotgun. Shot one at, I think that's the one I shot at range day a couple of years ago. Nice shotgun.
I chose to just go with the simple. I wanted simple and reliable because it would, that'll probably be my only shotgun. So that's why I went with a pump. And then during the cough, found a good deal on the, for the time, it was a good deal on the Security 88, the 20-inch model. So
If
I
you
bought that.
want simple, I'll bring you a break action. It's simple as it get. Put one shell in it.
Well, that's on the list of things I would love to have is
You can get them for $70.
a decent over-under. A nice looking over-under.
That's
Well,
hard.
you're going to pay money for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, single action or break action
Right.
shotguns are cheapest way to go if you just want a shotgun. That'll get you there.
I had an over and under for a long time. I really liked it.
I would love that someday. But every
I've
time
got
I find one, they're so expensive.
I've got a Model 12, which is essentially the trench gun from World War II. But mine's just a hunting one or whatever. But you can just pull the trigger and run the pump. So slam fire it. Is that what that's called?
Yeah.
Plus, it's cool because you can essentially just take a thing and twist it, and then it breaks in half, and you can carry it around in 2 pieces.
Oh, cool.
Now I think I'm gonna save up for a lever action because I don't have one and I should have one. So, but there's no guarantees because I always get distracted by other stuff once I have enough money to buy something.
You already have a 44, right?
Yeah.
Get
That's
a
what I thought
44
about
Mare's
that.
leg.
Is either a 357 or a 44.
Well, no,
That's what I
44. 357 is a waste of time.
But I really kind of want the 4570 just because it's big and loud.
A 4570 lever gun?
The 4570, yeah.
I'm trying to think if I've shot a 4570 lever gun. I don't own one. It feel like that'd be like walking up and letting a mule kick you in the shoulder, though.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking for, though?
I kind of.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I like it. Because like my Howa it's fun to shoot. It's 30-06, but it's a synthetic stock, so it's light. It's loud, a lot of power, but I can't shoot it a lot because it's a little
It'll
bit
kick
of
the
this.
crap out of you. Yeah.
But I do enjoy it.
I can shoot 30-06 all day. Well, I used to be able to shoot 30-06 all day. I don't know. It might be a weakling now. But there's some rifle rounds that are way more than that. Like, and the only reason I can shoot it all day is because I've had to shoot some of the other stuff that's way bigger than that. I don't know how people do it. My friend's got a super short mag, 300 super short Magnum, You can't really shoot more than 10 rounds of that unless you just don't care. I don't know. Maybe if you put like a bunch of foam or something and you're behind the stock.
Buddy I work with, he used to, that was his hunting rifle, was 300 short. And he told me, I don't remember if he told me how far away he was, but he hit a deer in the chest and it basically ripped its lungs out, sent him out the other side. So
it's essentially as bad as 9mm hitting a human.
I think now he has a 243. Like that's what he did, because it was too powerful and was too heavy for running up and down the hills that we've got around here. Well, I think he goes out to Montana. He knows somebody that's got a lot of property out there. I think he goes out there now. But yeah, he was, it's what he was saying. It's kind of too much power and the gun was too heavy to lug around. Oh, well, how about this one? Gearwebsites.com. If you're looking for logos, my original logo, which I have altered a little bit, was courtesy of gunwebsites.com. Technology consulting. You want something consulted, he'll consult it. Gearwebsites.com. Is there anything you would like to plug, Mr. Gun Websites?
No, thanks for hosting, though. It's cool to have a conversation in the middle of the evening for all the folks that are awake in the wee hours. Thanks for hosting.
How about you, Mr. Gizzard Gary?
Well, I had a couple videos come out this week. My last two from SHOT Show. In fact, the last one got released today. I've got a plenitudes of knife shorts coming, so look for those. And of course, every Friday, Foul Territory. That's at 9 p.m. Central Time, the only time zone that matters. So anyway, thanks for having me.
Oh, well, thanks for being here. And this weekend will be an overnight. And I think we'll talk about maybe being safe in your car. And there was something else I thought of just before the chat, which I have unthought of. I think it might be something a little more political. I'm thinking it was, but I can't remember exactly. So we'll talk about that and something else. Saturday night, 11 p.m. Pacific. Sunday morning, 1 a.m. Eastern Metric. Oh, God damn it. I forgot the banner. Forgot the banner again. But if you watch this in replay, leave a comment. Anything we talk about, agree with, disagree with, think we left out. Your favorite shotgun, favorite chocolate bar. Let me know. I always read the comments. They're always appreciated.
All right, I'm going to plug something. I forgot to plug something.
Oh, go ahead.
This thing called Thunder on the Prairie 2024. Been announced a couple weeks now. Anybody can go.
Yeah, I don't have the link for it, but Travis P11 has a video about it on his channel. So you can learn more if you want. X Adam 1, I know you wanted to go last year. Are you going to make it this year? Very great to see you out there. It's a lot of fun. And other than that, I was going to say thank you to those that were in the live chat. chatting it up. And those who were maybe watching and didn't say anything, I do appreciate you too. Don't be afraid to say something. Let me know that you were out there. Gary put out the link for Nebraska Shooters. That's where Thunder on the Prairie happens. So you can register through there, and you need a password. The password is Thunder24.
With a capital T, just like that.
And X Adam saying he was just in Nebraska 4 days ago. Well, hopefully you'll go there again in June.
It's much nicer in June.
That's
It's cold there sometimes.
well, June is hot there apparently.
It's hot here too.
But other than that, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night and go do something good.